This week I want to share a strategy that builds on the zones of learning that I talked to you about last week. So if you haven't watched the video from last week, check that out. There's a link in the email for it. So this strategy is really helpful for times that you're building confidence with something. So it could be that you're wanting to explore jumping or cantering, or anything that kind of is stepping outside even your learning zone into a little bit of your shutdown zone and you're wanting to grow your confidence. This is also a great strategy if you have, if your confidence has been obliterated by maybe an accident, or you're just having struggles with confidence. So this is a strategy for you if either of those things ring for you. So the first thing that I'm going to share with you is an awareness exercise. So what you're going to do is you're going to map out the things that are in your different zones of learning. So I have on the whiteboard here the 3 different zones. So we've got the comfort zone, the learning zone, and the shutdown zone. So what you're going to do first is you're just going to fill out the things that fit into those different zones. So for example, if you're trying to build confidence with jumping, you're going to think about, when you think of jumping, what are the things that are completely comfortable for you? So it might be putting the jumps, setting up the jumps in the arena. So you could put that in your comfort zone. Setting up jumps. It could be playing with your horse on the ground and having them jump the jumps. So playing online or on the ground. Okay. So you're going to list out all of those things. What are they're completely comfortable. You don't really have to think about them. It could be hanging out with your horse in the arena around the jumps. So you really want to tailor it to yourself, not what you've seen other people do. What is truly in your comfort zone for those things? It might be watching other people, that you're not even in the arena. So whatever it is, you're going to write those down. And then for your learning zone, what are some things that you have to think about that you're still learning? So it could be that going over a set of poles while you're riding your horse, but you're still having to think about where your focus is and where your hands are. So you're going to fill out those things for the learning zone. And then the shutdown zone. What are the things that you are like, I'm not going to be doing those yet? So for me with jumping, it would be anything higher than a barrel. So if I were to jump like 3.5 feet, no. So I would put that in my shutdown zone. Okay. So, and this can, again, like I mentioned in the beginning, it doesn't have to be for jumping. If it's for cantering, if you're building confidence with cantering, maybe cantering is in your shutdown zone right now. So think about the things that are in your learning zone. It can be trotting, maybe just walking and walk-trot transitions, maybe trotting faster, okay? And like I mentioned last week, you can have different areas of your learning zone. So like, let's take the cantering example. So I'll put a line here. So let's say cantering at all. So any distance cantering right now, let's say that's in my shutdown zone. Well, trotting fast, I might put this over on this side of my learning zone. It's almost into the shutdown zone, but it's still something that my brain works. I might get a little bit nervous, but it doesn't cause me to completely lose it. And then maybe just regular trotting might be more comfortable, and then walking might be over here. Okay, so walking might be in my comfort zone. Okay, so what you can do now is you can use this information to plan out your sessions. So a good rule of thumb to think about for building confidence and for moving things from your learning zone into your comfort zone is the 80-20 rule. So having 80% of the time you're doing things in your session, you're doing things that are in your comfort zone. 20% of the time you're doing things in your learning zone. Don't worry about your shutdown zone at this point. Right now, the goal is to not go into your shutdown zone at all. If you know they're in your shutdown zone, don't even go there. For like the jumping example, I'm not going to even go to the 3.5 foot jump. But if I'm doing these other things, I'll just stick with that one. If I'm doing these other things like the poles, the 2 foot jump, and I keep pushing things that maybe are over here, and trying those out, I'm gonna get to where this is no longer in my shutdown zone and it's like on the edge, or maybe even more in my learning zone and what I think about how you can tell the difference, like, is it in your learning zone or is it in your shutdown zone, is your brain working? Like, maybe you're nervous, but your brain is still functioning. If you're like completely shut down and your heart's taking over, racing, and you can't think anymore, stop everything. And if you're on your horse, stop everything and most likely get off. You might be able to stay at a walk and get yourself back together, but you might need to get off. So now for planning your session, like I mentioned, the 80-20, it might seem counterintuitive because I think a lot of times we think, oh, well, I need to be spending 80% of the time in my learning zone and 20% of the time in my comfort zone. Chances are, if you do that, your horse is going to be burned out, because when you're in your learning zone, you're not necessarily the greatest leader because you're needing to think about yourself and the things that you need to do for yourself. When you're in your comfort zone, you're able to think about your horse, you're able to be a better leader. So if you think about it from that perspective, if you're in your learning zone 80% of the time, that's going to be really challenging on your horse too, and on you. So think about it as like approach and retreat to build your confidence. You're going to go spend a little bit of time here and then get back to your comfort zone. A little bit of time here, get back to your comfort zone. Longer time here, back to your comfort zone. So it helps you to think about in your session what you're going to do to stretch yourself, but that what you're also going to be doing to stay in the learning zone, to stay in a learning state of mind. And then the other thing I did want to mention is, once you fill out this chart and you use it to plan your session, you can also use it to track your progress. So fill out the chart, and then you might do something else. You maybe write down some notes for your session. Then come back to it. So after like a few weeks, come back to it and reassess it. And you might find that some of these things that were over here are starting to move into your learning zone, and some of the things that were in your learning zone are now here. So pretty soon you're going to have a whole bunch of things that are in your comfort zone and a handful of things in your learning zone. Hopefully you'll keep progressing. You'll always have things in your learning zone, but you'll start to see them move. And that's a really fun feeling. So I hope this helps. And let me know if you have any questions on this one. I'll leave it at that. So let me know if you have any questions, and thank you for watching.